granted to him. We have accessed the order copy, and as per this order of the court, Umesh Pal was kidnapped by the convicts. He was forced to give statements in their favour. Such practice of influencing witnesses to testify in their favour hurts the integrity of the justice system in this country and shakes the conscience of the public in the entire judicial process. Threatening witnesses is a very serious offence, and more importantly, in this entire order, one of the core reasons that the judge has cited is that the manner in which the convicts conducted themselves, the manner in which they were involved in these criminal activities, is a direct testament to the fact that they were doing this to obstruct the due process of law. In this kidnapping, there was not just an act of kidnapping, but there was a criminal conspiracy, a larger conspiracy to stop and evade the due process of law, stop the process of justice, and the fact that it affects the public conscience and their faith in the judicial system. That is the reason that one of the highest form of sentencing, which is the life imprisonment. Of course, there could be death as well, but death is very rarely awarded, mostly in murder cases that is given. In this case, the court goes on to assert that because the conscience of the public has been shaken, threatening of witnesses, unduly affecting the trial are serious offences under Indian constitutions. And Ananya Bhatnagar with us on the broadcast, getting us more details. Ananya, the core reasoning of this order, please.
Well, 142-page order copy and various writers also cited by, in fact, the trial judge who was actually heard, and he goes on to cite a writer and clearly goes on to say that whenever a person commits a crime, even heavens find the witnesses onto that particular case and heavily of the court and actually provide a scepter view to, in fact, a particular crime that is committed, then those who are politically powerful, those who are politically empowered can actually prejudicially affect the trial in a particular case. Is what the court has said while convicting Atiq Ahmed and two others into this particular case. The court goes on to say that Umesh Pal was actually kidnapped, abducted, and was forced to give statements in the favor of Atiq Ahmed in that particular murder case, and following which shakes the conscience of the society on the entire judicial process. It affects the entire judicial process and takes these people who actually took the law into their hands, and that's the reason why, in fact, they deserve this kind of punishment, and that's the reason why, in fact, a life imprisonment has been given. Now, what has the prosecution argued in this particular case? We've also accessed that. The prosecution has argued that more than 50 cases are pending against Atiq Ahmed and his associates. In fact, he's somebody who has had a long criminal history and should not be spared at any point of time, and that's the reason why, in fact, the death penalty should be given, since Umesh Pal has already been killed into this particular case. So a death penalty should be given. However, the court has rejected the argument. In fact, the prosecution also stated that since he has such a big criminal background, there is no kind of a remorse that was there with Atiq Ahmed while he was actually committing this particular crime, and that's the reason why maximum punishment should be made out. However, the court has noted that since this is a very heinous crime, the whole of the justice system is at stake. Life imprisonment is what the maximum that could be awarded in this particular case.
Witness protection has been a key demand in this country, and despite the recognition of the fact that witness protection is very core to the criminal justice system in this country, it has remained an area which is marred by the presence of such gangsters and dons. This is a textbook case and example how a kidnapping and an abduction was criminally conspired upon, and then a crime was committed, and this is against the witnesses of a particular case. That's one reason that the court has taken this matter very seriously and made those comments about the fact that how the judicial process, the due process of law, was hindered. Ananya, as you go through that judgment, and of course it's a long one, I'm sure the judge must have made an observation or a comment about the need for witness protection in this country and how these hardened criminals have held the due process of law hostage.
Well, definitely the judge has said that, if a state actually fails to, provide for the witnesses in the country, if it fails to provide for, and he's citing various Supreme Court judgments for that, and he cited various writers for that as well. Clearly goes on to say that if at all this is not provided for, if at all the witnesses in a particular criminal case are not protected, then those who are politically empowered, those who are politically enriched can actually misuse this particular a lacuna, this particular loophole, and can influence the trials into their favor. They can turn them prejudicial, and however, there is a deeper analysis about how all of these charges are made out against Atiq Ahmed and others into this particular case, and why certain people have been let off from this particular case.
There are acquittals as well that have happened in this case. Ananya Bhatnagar getting us all the details. Where would Atiq Ahmed be imprisoned? What